Everybody loves a good protagonist, but what are they worth without their homies? Generally, the purpose of a good NPC or supporting character is to give a narrative or gameplay in a video game some spice. You know, like, switch it up so that your protagonist has a reason to exist. Who would Nathan Drake be without Sully? Chrono without Marley? Banjo without Kazooie? Chris Redfield without Sheva? What I'm trying to say is that protagonists are cool and all, but if the protagonist is all you got in your game, then it's probably going to be boring. I mean, The Witcher already sucks, but imagine if you only had Geralt in the game. So when it comes to the homie NPCs, you have a couple of different types. Maybe there's more than that, but I'm only going to talk about two. You have the gluey one, and then you have the assistant. Let's start with the sticky, gluey one. Gluey NPCs are the ones that give the protagonist more depth and reasons for their quest. Take Elizabeth from Bioshock Infinite. Booker sucks as a protagonist, but this game actually came together well in the end and had a pretty good story because of Elizabeth. As you go through this game, you learn more about her and what her purpose is in the grand scheme that is Columbia. Elizabeth goes on from being a complete mystery to an integral character in uncovering Booker's lost identity. Obviously, the writers at 2K spent many hours, days, months, and more to create this kind of chemistry and connection between these characters, which we should all be very grateful for. Thank you. This is for you. Frick yeah, dude! Alex Vance in Half-Life 2 is another great example of a cohesive character. Not only does she provide an incredible amount of support in the story, but she also assists Gordon in his quest by giving him some neat little doodads along the way. Which leads to the other type of homie NPC in video games, the assistant. These can either be your favorite kind of NPC or the most aggravating and annoying. I'm talking Tattle versus Navi, the Merchant versus Sheva, Fox versus Preston Garvey, Caden versus Ashley. They're either the worst ever, you want them to shut up and die, or they're very pleasant and stay the hell out of your way. The assistant NPC helps the protagonist along the way, giving them anything from weapons, utility, or nice little hints about where to go. As everyone knows, there's Navi, who is very annoying at times, but she gives you some nice little hints once in a while. And then you got someone like Gasper from Chrono Trigger that gives you hints on where your next side quest is. The Merchant in Resident Evil 4 is probably the greatest NPC ever created. He's charming, he's helpful, and always a great sign of relief in this crazy-ass game full of hatch-bearing, chainsaw-ripping, mutant freakazoid nutjobs. That voice, it makes me feel so good, you know what I'm saying?
What are you buying?
Characters like this don't always provide more substance to the narrative or gameplay, but they're nice additions and make you feel like you're not all by your lonesome. So next time you're playing a video game, take a second to recognize the homie NPCs in your game. They were created for a reason, and if they suck, then I guess you should probably try to find a way to make them die because, yeah, nobody wants their time wasted, am I right?
So I can only really count with one hand how many friends I have in real life. I mean, I got this guy, I got them, and that's about it.
What about
me? In video games, though, you come across a myriad of colorful and interesting characters that add some, that spice to the game. Some of my favorites are Garrus from Mass Effect, Quirrell from Hollow Knight, Beetle from The Legend of Zelda, Paula from Earthbound, Maik the Liar from Oblivion, and everyone in Undertale minus freaking Alphys. Speaking of Undertale, can I just talk about how cool Gerson the Turtle is? He's just this wise old dude, chilling in his shop. He even tells you war stories. He's a cool guy. He's just my homie. I remember playing through this game the first time and I would just visit his shop because I liked him. Even though I exhausted all of his dialogue, I would just hang out with him. He's just a homie. And another one of my homies is Sigurd of Astora. This guy is like the uncle of Dark Souls. He's so sick. And this is what we're trying to get at. Although these characters exist only in video games, they can leave an impact on you and feel as if they're real, tangible friends. This is exactly how I feel about Shane from Stardew Valley. So, let me tell you a little story. When I first moved into Pelican Town and started chuffing farm, I hated Shane. I hated him so much. I would go out of my way to give him garbage and shoot rocks at him. He was just an a-hole. He was like, I don't know, every time you talk to him, he was like, get the F out of my way. and I was just dead set on not being his friend. But, after my heart opened up a bit, I decided to go for it. I started giving him pizza, and I don't know, we started becoming buddies. That's how it works in real life, right? You give each other pizza. Shane is a complex and deep character, and if I never took the time to get to know him, I would have never known that. Shane suffers from depression, and he tries to quell that depression with excessive alcohol. The interactions with him throughout the game they're heartbreaking. You see him at the lowest of lows, and you get to see how it affects his family and those who are around him. But as you continue to befriend him, you start to see a change. He begins to be more kind, he starts doing some personal projects, and he ultimately accepts himself. It's a beautiful little story packed into an already amazing game. And till this day, when I boot up Stardew Valley, I go and give Shane a pizza because he's my friend. And who would have thought that you could find and feel a tangible friendship with video game characters? With this being said, cherish your friends in real life, and cherish your video game friends. Cherish your homies. And go get them a pizza.
Share.